This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, dignitaries and Māori elders gathered at Dunedin's Otaka Marae for Waitangi Day yesterday. Officials are starting to count the cost of Wednesday's floods in the Gore and Matara areas. And this week's deluge also saw some Balclutha residents evacuating their homes voluntarily. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. Dignitaries and Māori elders gathered at Dunedin's Otaka Marae for Waitangi Day yesterday. The crowds at the Treaty Festival have been growing every year.
An ever-growing appreciation of the significance of the Treaty of Waitangi was on display at Dunedin's Otaka Marae yesterday. Dunedin Mayor Aaron Hawkins reflected on the past 180 years of Pākehā taking up too much space.
And today is about relationships, and a relationship isn't two people turning up. A relationship is, and a partnership, a true partnership is two people or two groups coming together on an equal footing.
After the customary challenge to visitors was accepted and the crowd settled on the marae grounds, several of the dignitaries, which included members of parliament, mayors and other community leaders, spoke and offered koha to the hosts. Otako Kaumātua Edward Ellison says the crowds are growing at the Ngāi Tahu Treaty Festival each year.
I think that's a growing awareness and interest in the fact that we have the festival here. It's an appreciation of the treaty and its place. I believe that many of the people who come are people who engage with us in different forum and what have you.
Bringing greetings from the Prime Minister, Dunedin North MP David Clark spoke about the importance of bringing Pākehā and Māori together.
Taking that step, continuing on a journey to learn the language, to be part of a shared New Zealand.
Tributes also flowed for the late Tahu Potiki, former Ngāi Tahu Chief Executive who died last year. In Otipoti, Dunedin, the South Today.
And Waitangi Day was remembered and celebrated with cultural festivities across the South this week. Cultural diversity was displayed in all its glory at Waitangi Day's multicultural bite event in Ashburton. The event is an ethnic celebration and showcases food and culture from some of Mid-Canterbury's many migrants. At the Queenstown Memorial Centre, local kapahaka groups were joined by those from other cultures and backgrounds. The day focused on Māori heritage and different nationalities in Queenstown. Hundreds gathered at Kaiapoi to spend time with friends and whānau. A hangi kept everyone well fed and school groups performed kapahaka. Officials are starting to count the cost of Wednesday's floods in the Gore and Matara areas. Expected to run into millions of dollars, the exact figure on repairs can't be given while a state of emergency remains across the region.
After rising floodwaters in the Mataura River threatened to inundate parts of the town, about 1,500 residents were told to evacuate from the low-lying part of the town on Wednesday. While the clean-up and pumping is now underway to remove the last of the water from Wednesday's floods, about 30 Mataura properties remain flooded, and temporary accommodation has been provided for those families. On Wednesday, about 75 Mataura residents ended up at the evacuation centre in Edendale, with help from a rapid relief team of about 10 volunteers from Invercargill.
The people are coming in a variety of emotional states. Some are quite upset and some are looking for their loved ones, and others need a place to put their feet and have a cup of tea and just relax after what has been quite a traumatic morning for them.
About 25 people slept at the centre on Wednesday night, with most allowed back home yesterday afternoon. During the height of the flood, concern was raised over the town's former paper mill. The building stores dross from the Tiwai Point aluminium smelter, and there was a fear floodwaters might enter the building and mix with the dross, generating a poisonous ammonia gas.
I am not very happy with the Gore District Council for letting that go so long. It is going out now, but it's pretty slow, too late. And I blame the council for everything, all this, what's happening to the Matera people.
But inspection by fire and emergency and council staff showed the situation remained secure. The Gore District Council also said it was working fast to ensure the smelter's material did not present a risk again in the future.
The paper mill, and it is really reassuring to know that that is safe and dry, and I have to say that this situation has caused a lot more focus from people that hopefully can influence the future of that Ovea premix, and time will tell, but watch this space.
12 kilometres upstream from Gore, the Mataura River had started spilling over into the surrounding area, and almost 2,500 people evacuated as a precaution on Wednesday, although most were allowed back into their homes later the same day. Gore and Mataura Mayor Tracy Hicks says the flood banks, which were significantly breached in the 1978 floods, had saved the town this time round.
Some people in the community will remember 1978 and when the banks were overtopped and the banks collapsed. There was about 2,400 QMEX going down that day. My understanding is it was about 2,600.
Yeah, just slightly over 2,500 for Gore and closer to 2,700 for Matera.
So a huge volume of water. So the defences have been shored up, and they stood the test of time yesterday. They were tested though, and there's probably still a bit more to do.
Residents of 12 properties flooded in Gore's Ontario Street were allowed back after a pumping operation to remove floodwater from the area. In Southland, the South Today.
After this week's deluge, the sun came out across most of the region on Waitangi Day, including the Artrim Rodeo. Now in its 61st year, the mild weather drew a crowd of around 1,000 people. The event included horse and bull bucking competitions, with many aspiring cowboys failing to stay on for more than a few seconds. The rodeo was under the close watch of 2 vets and the Ministry for Primary Industries. The government recently decided not to ban flank straps, electric prodders and calf roping after previously saying they would. The club is set to host a second rodeo tomorrow after the Mataura Club had to postpone its annual event due to area-wide flooding. Continuing on with our coverage of the impact of Wednesday's floods. This week's deluge also saw some of Balclutha's residents evacuating their homes voluntarily. Their properties were deemed to be under threat as the Clutha District Council established a red zone of flood risk.
While Balclutha may have escaped the flood damage of its Southland neighbours, it was still touch and go for many residents in the low-lying parts of town. The rising floodwaters of the Clutha River meant that a red zone near the centre of town, where High Street intersects with the town's main street, had been drawn up by the Clutha District Council. The area showed properties at risk if the nearby Hospital Road embankment was breached. Civil Defence emphasised this was not a potential breach of the main Clutha River flood banks, and their staff worked through the night into Thursday, pumping water to reduce the risk. With the water level significantly lowered, red zone residents who voluntarily evacuated on Wednesday were given the all clear to return home yesterday. Many roads in the area were closed due to severe flooding, effectively cutting Balclutha off from Invercargill. A welfare centre in Balclutha hosted about 30 stranded travellers on Wednesday night. As the roads were gradually cleared, Constable Craig Stiven and local farmer Elliot Hancox donned on wetsuits to help flood-stranded motorists near Tapanui, and they took some time to rescue several stranded ewes, who were transported on their backs to keep them subdued.
Good work, boys.
Yesterday afternoon saw the reopening of the Owaka Highway from Balclutha into the Catlins, the main highway between Mataura and Gore, as well as the Clinton to Mataura Highway, also known as the Old Coach Road. However, one of the roads to bear the brunt of this week's heavy rains was State Highway 94 to Milford Sound, which was badly damaged, stranding 195 tourists who had to be helicoptered over the pass before being bussed back to Te Anau. The road is likely to remain closed until the middle of next week. In Balclutha and Fiordland, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, we meet a Dunedin chef aspiring to change the concept of fast food, and thousands of motorbikes roar into Invercargill for the Burt Munro Challenge. So see you after the break.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274. Lana Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full-paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chin.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Welcome back. A young Dunedin chef is hoping to redefine the concept of fast food. Burger Plant opened its doors this week, serving vegan burgers and fast food staples.
From a stall at the Otago Farmers Market, a young Dunedin chef has turned his dream of owning his own fast food restaurant into a reality. Vegan burger store Burger Plant opened its doors this week in an old North Dunedin fish and chip shop to a line of keen vegans and curious carnivores. 21-year-old chef and owner Thomas White says the burgers and fries flew out the door on the first day.
It was crazy, yeah, we weren't actually expecting it to be as busy as it was. Obviously Elton John probably helped a wee bit, but like even today for lunch, we still did about 80 burgers, which is pretty good for what we were actually planning on doing. But yeah, so it's been going really, really well so far, and I hope it stays this way. The students aren't back yet, so we'll bring on the next couple of weeks when they get back.
White says his parents are highly supportive, although he appreciates the risk of moving into relatively uncharted food territory.
My granddad flew down from Auckland, helped in here for about a week, helped building. My mum has been absolutely incredible. So I obviously still been having to work to actually make an income so I could actually pay for this. So I've been doing both and coming here after work and working till late at night. My girlfriend's also been really helpful in the whole setup of the social media platforms and that kind of thing. She's been incredible. She's been helping out behind the scenes as well. Yeah, it's been a big family affair and had to try and get this thing open, and we managed to get it open on the exact date that we actually planned to open.
Vegetarian Lee Morris was lucky enough to try the first burger off the grill, capturing the moment with the selfie, then devouring.
Fantastic, really good. It just tastes, well, better than I could make myself, that's for sure.
White says his training and professional experience means the business is in good hands.
3 years of training. I've done a diploma in hospitality management at Polytech that kind of got me more into the business side of things. And I've worked at quite a few places like Moieti, for instance, with Sam, and he was incredible in teaching me how to about a little bit more about business side of things as well.
He's not ruling out franchising the business, but says it's still early days. Burger Plant is the first fully vegan fast food restaurant in Dunedin, and the fourth entirely animal-free eatery in the city. In Dunedin, The South Today.
Thousands of motorcyclists have descended on Invercargill for the Burt Munro Challenge, which kicked off yesterday. The annual event had a slower start this year due to widespread flooding and road closures throughout Southland.
Since its inception in 2006, the Burt Munro Challenge has grown into one of the largest all-round motorcycle rallies in the Southern Hemisphere. Hosted by the Southland Motorcycle Club, the four-day event incorporates a series of races including hill climb, drag, street and beach racing. Event commentator Neil Turbo Tonsils Ritchie says riders from all over New Zealand and Australia are drawn to the event because of its connection to Burt Munro.
This is a place where Burt himself came and played, so it was like a testing ground. In the days of him racing up here, there was no glory like tar seal. It was a metal and the last bit was dirt. And apparently, all jokes are that about the last bit was at 45 degrees angle as well, so it was pretty tough.
Highlights of the challenge include the Bluff Hill Race, a race around the streets of Invercargill, and the now iconic beach racing championships on Oreti Beach.
Where else are you going to go and get a hill climb, where you're going to get some beach race, where you're going to go and get street circuit, where you're going to go and get speedway, where you're going to get a track like Teretonga, the world's most southern raceway.
The Burt Munro Challenge continues until Sunday. In Invercargill, The South Today.
After the break on The South Today, the 15th annual Hawea Town vs Country Waitangi Day Challenge gets underway at Lake Hawea, and we see what the weather has in store for us this weekend, so see you after the break.
Larnach Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Every every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Thanks for staying with us. Hawea residents put their navigational skills to the test yesterday during the town's annual Waitangi Day celebrations. The 15th annual Hawea Town vs Country Waitangi Day Challenge took place at Peter Fraser Park yesterday. For the first time, the day included a 45-minute team orienteering event on the Lake Hawea lakefront. The event started with 24 teams lined up to receive information and maps before commencing the race. Despite only 13 teams getting to every control, organisers say there were no tears and most people will be back next year. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Dignitaries and Māori elders gathered at Dunedin's Otaka Marae for Waitangi Day yesterday. Officials are starting to count the cost of Wednesday's floods in the Gore and Matara areas. It is expected to run into millions of dollars. And this week's deluge also saw some Balclutha residents evacuating their homes voluntarily after their properties were deemed to be under threat of flooding by the Clutha District Council. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Hayden Meikle. What have you got for us?
Good evening, Mel. Well, yes, it's got a real Southland flavour, the ODT tomorrow, which is important, of course, for our Southland readers. Obviously, the flooding clean-up is front and centre. The people of Matilda got a long road to hoe, I guess, as they're telling us today. It's going to be a long clean-up. There's a lot of damage, a lot of things to think about, a lot of people hurting, and houses that need cleaning and all that sort of stuff. I think they're trying to get the primary school back up and running by Monday, but there's a fair bit of cleaning to do. So now, along with that is, of course, this big story about the Ovea premix in the old paper mill. We are hearing the latest that a deal has been struck to clear that out of there. So we've got a story on that and what's going to happen. And the Gore District Council responding really to some criticism that it hadn't done enough in the past. So that should be quite interesting. Yeah. And staying in the south, it's the Burt Munro, of course, the big Burt Munro weekend. Some fascinating stuff down there today. An airplane flying over Aruti Beach as the motorcycles were there. And I think at 5 o'clock the beach racing was underway. So we'll have a full splash of photos from our Gregor Richardson, who is who was down there.
It's a stunning beach, Arete Beach.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Perfect for it. Closer to Dunedin, a turtle rescue of all things now.
I didn't expect to hear this.
Oh, that's going to capture the reader's attention, but believe it or not, a freshwater turtle captured in the Dunedin Steamer Basin. Reasonably serious questions been asked, I suppose. How did a freshwater turtle get there? I think it's been given to the SPCA. I'm not sure they get many turtles to look after, but find out more in tomorrow's paper. Should be interesting.
And it's not something you really want in our bay either.
No, certainly not. They're not supposed to be there at all. I think they're quite voracious predators when they get involved. So
yeah.
And the other big news, well, I guess the Highlanders. We'll see how the mighty Highlanders go. Their opening game of the season is tonight, probably not long after we speak, actually. See what sort of crowd they get. It's been a huge week for Forsyth Bar Stadium, obviously. Elton John, which was amazing, on Tuesday night. The Highlanders tonight. And Queen about to rock the place on Monday night, I think. So all that and a weekend mix full of interesting yarns as well. So lots of good stuff.
Wonderful. So you can catch all of that in tomorrow's ODT. And now it's time for a look at the weekend's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with today's southern view, taken of the harbour mouth molars. Looking at the situation, we can expect widespread rain or showers tomorrow with strong, cold southwesterly winds and temperatures remaining cold on Sunday with southwesterlies continuing. Looking at what's in store for the southern towns of Balclutha, Catlins, Gore and Lumsden can all expect strong southwesterlies, showers and highs between 10 and 11 degrees. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes region, Alexandra, Queenstown, Tiana and Wanaka are all in for fresh southwesterlies, showers with highs between 11 and 12 degrees also. Looking at what's in store for the northern towns along the coast, Timaru can expect moderate southwesterlies and showers with a high of 17 degrees, while Moruya is in for fresh southwesterlies and showers with a high of 15 degrees, and it should be similar inland at Twizel and Amarama with fresh southwesterlies, a high of 16 degrees for Twizel, and it will be slightly cooler at Amarama with 14 degrees. In Dunedin tonight, you can look forward to cloudy skies with showers developing around dawn as cold, blustery southwesterlies develop, looking at an overnight low of 9 degrees. It should be mostly cloudy and cold tomorrow as well with showers, but expect cloud to start breaking in the afternoon with a few sunny periods possible. Look out for strong gusty southwesterlies. Showers will start clearing tomorrow evening and winds decrease overnight, a high of 12 and a low of 9. And it's still going to be cold on Sunday as well with mostly cloudy skies and a few showers likely in the afternoon with fresh to strong southwesterlies, looking at a high of 13 and a low of 10. In Invercargill tonight, rain will start easing to showers with strong southwesterlies and an overnight low of 8 degrees. It should be cloudy tomorrow with showers and fresh to strong gusty cold southwesterlies, a high of 11 and a low of 8. Showers will start clearing on Sunday, but it remains cloudy and cold with southwesterlies still blustering away again, a high of 12 and a low of 8. That's all for our news this Friday and this week. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Wrap up warm this weekend. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.